What's up, Demon Hunters? Kind of back here with another video here. This is going to be about force move versus force stop, stutter stepping actually. It's a video I probably should have made quite some time ago. I just haven't really had any interest, but as newer players start to enter the forum, I figured, now is the time to kind of do it in a sense. I'm gonna kind of go over both particular methods and things. I know that force move is pretty much the popular way of doing things, and it kind of makes sense because of how easy it is to stutter step with force move. However, I will show some of the limitations of going that route versus doing force stop, which is quite a bit harder to do and maintain, but gives you complete control over your character versus the other route. So as you see, I kind of put on a one-hander for now, and I'm going to change my generator for this example. So I'm going to come in this area here, and I'm going to demonstrate some force move stuff. So this is me force move stutter stepping. If you notice, I am shooting in the same direction in which my mouse is. So I'm just holding down force move key and then just clicking where my mouse points. Okay, this is really good for if you just want to go straight on things, or if your movement is very linear, you can go forwards. You can actually go backwards by actually clicking on the crotch of your character. So if you click on the crotch of your character and click, you will have to continue to go backwards. Easy way to do that. So when it comes to force move, that's kind of it. You have a linear movement. You go forward, you go backwards, and then that's for the most part it. Another attractive feature, obviously, of it is not being able to click on mobs. You can kind of like go through them and not misclick, so that makes for easy use to as well. But here's kind of where the limitations kind of come in. So what if I want to change directions? What if I want to mix up my movement a bit and kind of like dodge things a little easier? That's not within a straight line, but still be able to attack where I want. But this is kind of where force move has an issue, because let's say I want to try to attack in this direction here, okay, but I want to move backwards and then to the left and to the right, but still attack in the same direction. I kind of can't do that. So when I move my mouse back behind me to try to change direction, if you notice, my character kind of is very doesn't really move very far. It doesn't move nearly as far as moving straight ahead, and that's because force move is just that. It forces your character to move. So your input is always having your character move wherever your mouse places you. So by just simple mechanics, you kind of can't go and change directions the way you want to without feeling like you're not really moving anywhere. You're kind of in quicksand or anything like that. So that causes some issues because you end up not being able to dodge certain things, and then you also don't move pretty quickly, and then you also your aim is quite off, so you have a harder time just trying to stay alive or going behind. So people in those case scenarios end up having to vault and to reposition, so therefore you can be back in a straight line again, which is this again. But the more you vault, the more discipline you use, the less multi-shots you're firing. So overall, you kind of lose damage by forcing or being forced to vault because you're using force move, stepping in a sense. So let's actually put this in. Oh, actually, my fault. Let me show you what it looks like to do it for stop. So this is for stop, in which I can kind of do the same thing as going forward, but I can also go back and shoot in the same direction. If I want to shoot this guy here, I can still kind of do that in a circular motion here while being able to fully control my character and I get the same amount of movement as going forward or going back in a circle, left or right. So I have just more control in general. So with that being said, let me actually show you guys this in a somewhat actual scenario. So back in the day, me and my clan, we used to do we used to train for stutter stepping with the force stop with this fountain. Oh boy, really shielding. That's kind of satisfying. I haven't used bowling in such a long time. It's actually kind of so much fun. Alright, so anyways. Alone, go away. Alright, so this fountain here has a pretty small hitbox. So what we used to do to be able to practice aim or accuracy was we used to stutter step around this fountain going clockwise and then obviously counterclockwise. If you try to do this with force move, it kind of looks a little bit like this. So I'm trying to do it with force move. But it's kind of clunky. I end up kind of in the same spot sometimes, just depending on where my mouse is. Now, if I do the same thing with force stop, it looks like this. Screen is not as jittery. Where I control and where I aim. It's exactly where I want it. Oops. And my movement remains consistent. Missed a couple of them. It's been a while since I've done this experiment. If any TPA members, old school, watching this, yeah, I think you probably get some frightening memories of me watching you work on this fountain here. But anyways, so with that being said, I hope you guys have a kind of an understanding of the difference between the two of them. So let's look at some actual video examples here of runs that I've done before. So let's take a look at this particular video here, and I'm going to do this in full time first, and then I'm going to do it in normal time. Sorry, normal time first, and then do it in half time or quarter time, really. So we're going to watch as I do this part here. So I'm relocating quite a bit to try to dodge all the fireballs you see there, as well as the mortar attacks, and end up finishing off that elite there. So the biggest thing you notice is that I did not have to vault. I didn't have to vault to reposition to be able to finish off that mob there. Whereas if I was in a linear position, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I would not be able to change directions. So let's look at it again in slow-mo. Let's skip a little bit ahead. There we go. So we're going to look at a 0.25 range. You can kind of see my decision making from what I'm seeing on screen. So I quickly realized that okay, they have mortar, okay, they have reflect. So my movements need to be planned accordingly. So looking at all these reflect balls coming at me, reposition there to dodge that one, to dodge that one, reposition to dodge that one. I don't get hit by the mortar there. Mortar is kind of hard to completely dodge. So ran into that one. But as long as you kind of get hit by the edge of it, you don't take much damage. So the idea is not to get hit by the center of the mortar itself. So in this example, I kind of dodged all of those. So let's pause there. We're going to go and back into normal time. We're going to kind of go towards the end of the rift here, I think. No, it's not where I want. to this video? No, it's not this video. Okay, so let's look at the next video here. I'm kind of start back towards the beginning of this one. And it's kind of the same ordeal here. See some lightning, I try to dodge around. I am repositioning quite a bit. And of course this is without hiccup. So we're going to go a little bit further. Let's see what this looks like here. Okay, so this one is, I believe, one where I almost died here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so let's stop here. Let's reverse this a little bit. I was looking for this one. Alright, so I'm going to do from here, I'm going to do this in slow motion. So arrow, dodge there, reposition there. I see all these range attacks happening behind me. I got to pay attention to what's going on here. Otherwise it'll kill me. So here's a mortar there. So right there, I repositioned just out of range and out of range of the other mortar to where I don't get hit by the center of that one. Rewinding one more time. So coming back here, trying to mitigate what's happening over here. So here, reposition, dodge out of the center of that mortar. I don't get hit by the impact, and the same thing with that one too. So had I not been able to change positioning, I would have pretty much got hit. I would have eaten the center of the mortar, and I pretty much would have died. No question there. The other alternative would have been just to vault, but I was able to continue to keep stepping, and then therefore keep up my my output there. So a little bit more happening there. Same exact ordeal. Kind of stepping around. There's one more passage in here I think I want to show. That's probably... So when I get the attack speed shrine. Oh, there it was. Okay. So we're gonna do this in normal time first. So coming around here, gather the attack speed shrine. They have reflect. If you notice, I know dodging around all the fireballs and pretty much on the fire cycle, and it ended up obliterating the target. But I get hit by one of those, and that's it. But there was several fireballs that fired. So let's actually slow that down again. Take a look at this again. So let's go 2.25 here. Come down. I see them. Grab the speed pylon. I still think they're doing something up here, so I kind of come down here instead. So coming down, first fireball I got hit because I was too close. All the other ones just have to dodge around, go in between, go around, go in between there, past there, and I end up missing, or the fireballs end up missing me completely. One more example I want to show would be I believe this one is it. It's somewhere around here. Cool. Alright, so we'll do this one in normal time first. And this is two elites in a very tight place, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I have shield pylon here, but I play as if I don't have it, just out of habit. So that was the mortars. I see the reflect kind of coming around, and then I kind of just do the same things there. So I'll kind of put that back in slow motion again. Let's go to 0.25 again. And after kind of putting these examples out there, you can kind of see why or how, at least to me in the way that I play, how important being able to reposition at will is without forcefully having to vault to a different location to dodge the same exact attacks that I normally would. So same thing ordeal, arrow misses me there. There's a mortar that's coming here. Same thing, I see that mortar down there. And I guess that's kind of the end of that. So going to stop there. Before I wrap this video up, I'm going to explain explain a few more things too. I used to be a professional StarCraft 2 player, and I was also a professional Warcraft 3 player. Played in the GSL in StarCraft, and well, kind of won't go into that. But we did this thing, or we normally do this thing called baiting or mind games, where we kind of make players do certain actions, so therefore we can punish their actions as a response. And so while in this game you're playing against the AI, so the AI, for the most part, is kind of dumb, you can still kind of bait certain affixes to attack in certain places based off your movement. So if your movement is very linear or straightforward, a straight line, the AI can kind of take an educated guess of where you're going to go and end up firing their affixes in that way. And that kind of makes it a little bit harder to kind of get around, because they end up guesstimating pretty accurately where you're going to go, and the only way out of it is to vault a couple of times around. Whereas if I am changing directions every now and then or whatnot, then I'm not giving the elites or the affixes a certain pathway of where I'm going to be. So therefore, oftentimes frozen misses, oftentimes lightning sometimes is in the wrong places where they kind of predicted that I would be, per se. So I'm able to kind of like get around affixes a little bit easier because of that. And that's also why I'm able to actually complete decently high GRs. Not really pusher, but when I do go for high GRs, I'm able to complete them with a lot less toughness, lower Paragon levels, as well as lower gem levels than a lot of other players that are around me at that time frame. And this is literally because of why I'm able to kind of like not get hit. Very rarely get hit, really, in those case scenarios, because of you being able to use force stop and being able to have full range of motion here. So again, not trying to convert anyone into force stop. Force stop requires, I'm sure you've heard my mouse, how many clicks I'm getting, etc. It's not an easy thing to do. It's several clicks a second. For multi-shot, it's 9 clicks a second if you want to use force stop method, versus 3 clicks a second using force move. Force move will be just fine and will do just fine for most applications. But if you one of those very few handfuls, me, Red Cell, maybe 1, 2, 3 other people in the world of Diablo that might do this method, if you really want to truly master your stepping, this is pretty much the way to go. But it's not necessary. It's not. You don't need to do this. I just like doing it. It makes for a more dodgy, more I'm gonna outskill the game content type style of play. But it's totally not necessary for you to do that. But yeah, that's kind of it. Just wanted to explain the differences between the two methods there, and why I talk about it in the way that I do on the forums and things, and it's kind of it, really. See you guys on the forums.